Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I posted about my racing journey. I've had a few major life updates, which are the reasons kind of why I've been a little bit low-key on YouTube. I'll share them with you now. I'm on my way to K1 Speed for a midweek practice session, so what better time to update you guys than while I'm going racing. Okay, so what are the updates? Two things that are happening right now in my life. I'm starting a new job and I'm buying a house at the same time. So needless to say, I've been extremely busy. My nights after work since January, my wife and I spend hours after work looking, scouring the internet for homes to then tour the upcoming weekend. We then spent our weekends touring homes, and then if we liked a home, we would put an offer on it and spend the weekend crafting the offer. And then that happened about 5 or 6 times, only to be told no after every single offer we put in. Finally, we found a house in New Hampshire. And so for the past 3 weeks, we've been in that mode where we're working with lenders and a realtor and dealing with inspections and all kinds of stuff. This is our first home, tons of activities, basically don't have a day off or a minute off where we can't think about the house. So I'm dealing with all that while also starting a new job next week. Right now I'm actually in my in-between week. I just wrapped up my previous job last Friday and I start the new job this coming Monday. So I'm trying to enjoy myself, but there's really so much to do still with the house. And until we get the house, until we have the keys to the house, there's gonna be tons of stuff. And believe me, once we have the keys, then just a new series of tasks kicks off with furnishing the house, repairs, all that kind of stuff. Needless to say, I've been extremely busy, and quite frankly, our budget has been going all towards this house. So racing, while it's still been top of mind, it never leaves my mind. It hasn't been top of my efforts. That's why I've been a little bit low-key on YouTube for the past few weeks. But because this is a transition week between my two jobs, I do want to have some fun and I do want to resume racing. I'm using this time to take advantage of the time off to film this video and just give you guys an update. And I'm also on my way, like I said, to K1 Speed, where I'm going to get some practice laps in. As I drive to K1 Speed, obviously wearing my racing gloves because it kind of gets me back in the mindset. I am going to racing school in a couple weeks, this 2-day advanced school at Bertel Roos. But just because I haven't been racing on the track doesn't mean I haven't been practicing. Every time I get behind the wheel, even in this car, a Subaru Crosstrek, it's not a race car, it's an everyday daily driver. It's not particularly exciting to drive, but it still is a useful place and time to practice good habits. I mentioned before in my previous video, scanning the road, always being aware of your sights, how the car feels under you, in my hands, on my feet. What am I hearing? Getting in the habit of paying attention to these things is going to put me in that much better of a position when I go to racing school to be aware and to do that while driving at the limit. First and foremost, my goal is to stick to my path. And that's an important thing to note for anyone embarking on a journey of chasing your dream. It helps to have a path so you know where you're going. Even if the path is wrong, it ensures you're moving. Moving anywhere is better than standing still. So my path is the same. My goals are to get my SCCA license, learn as much as possible, and get experience in some races. Originally, when I set out to become a racing driver, I laid out an ambitious but not overly crazy 5-year plan. If you remember from my second video, I mentioned that 5 years felt like the right length, not too long where it felt too distant, but not too short where it felt overwhelming. My 5-year plan against my goal of becoming a professional driver in 5 years looks like this. Year 1 is all about getting up to speed, laying the foundation, and acquiring any necessary means. Year 2 is about entering and competing in my first race season. Years 3 and 4, I want to hone my racing craft and start making some deals, whatever that looks like. Year 5, close the deals that allow me not to have to work elsewhere. It doesn't mean I'm going to quit my job or anything like that. I just want to start putting in a system in place where I can, if I choose to, use racing and professional driving as a primary means to support my and my family's lifestyle. Side note, oh my god, this kart is a drift kart. It's horrible. As much fun as this is, K1 Speed, there's too much variety in terms of what cars you're going to get. Like, they need to do a better job making the cars more consistent. You can jump into one and it will be an entirely different animal than the next kart. And I understand that it's arrive and drive, and, they can only do so much to make them consistent. They're not, paying mechanics tons of money to come in here and be here all the time and constantly working on the karts. I get that, but honestly, this is just, it takes the fun away. As you can see from my 5-year goals, the first year is all about getting up to speed, laying a proper foundation through education, and acquiring necessary means. One thing I quickly learned, if I'm going to be taking racing seriously, I have to get involved in sim racing. Not only do most professionals racing drivers compete and practice on simulators, but it's also a more affordable way to keep my skills sharp. And nowadays, they're not cheap by any means, but they are definitely a more affordable way of keeping your skills sharp when you can't get on track. So I will absolutely be getting a sim rig. I've been itching so bad to get one, but unfortunately, with the house and so much money and of our budget going into housing related costs, from the down payment to closing costs to furnishing the house to doing repairs that were uncovered in inspection, there's many thousands of dollars going into this house. So unfortunately, that combined with the fact that I can't be making any crazy purchases before we close on the house because I don't want to risk our chances of securing a loan. So because of all those reasons, I've been waiting until we have the keys to the new house to finally set up the sim rig, and then it's probably going to take a while for some things to get here. But in any case, I am so ready to start racing on a sim. And I'm also getting my SCCA license, my Sports Car Club of America license, which will allow me to enter into many regional and national races. To do that, I've already taken my 3-day school at Bertil Roos, which I've shared with you in previous videos. So up next, in less than a month, is my 2-day advanced school in April, where I'll hone my racecraft even more. Obviously, a subsequent step will be to figure out what car I'm going to race. There are some arrive and drive series where I can just show up and use the cars that are offered. Bertil Roos does offer a racing series that is fully arrive and drive, where all I have to do is show up with a helmet and a race suit. Well, not even that, a helmet and shoes and gloves, and they provide everything else. And then there's the more, traditional routes where I have a race car, and I would trailer that or bring that to a racetrack and enter the race that way. I'm still not sure what I'm going to be doing, but that's okay. I know that I'll figure that out going forward. So another thing that I plan to partake in are drivers' education events. These are held at tracks around the country and basically involve you showing up to tracks to drive with instructors around a track and then ultimately on your own. And it's all about non-competitive practice and getting you comfortable behind the wheel of different cars, or maybe your own, maybe it's a rented car, at different tracks. The more seat time, the better, especially going wheel to wheel with other race car drivers. I've been meeting a lot of guys at the karting events, and many of them are involved in these high performance driver education days, which are basically more time trial oriented and just about having fun driving at the limit, but not necessarily racing other people wheel to wheel. Luckily for me, there are many tracks in the New England area. In fact, I'm within about 2 to 4 hours of, I think, 5 to 6 different racetracks, which, if you think about it, really isn't a bad deal compared to where some other people are located in the country, where it takes, more than 8 hours just to get to your closest racetrack. Obviously, I plan to continue racing at K1 Speed in this yearly GP Challenge. There's 12 races, 1 per month. We've currently done 3. I'm just getting in some practice now, but my plan is to attend as many races, if not all of them, throughout the year. Currently, after 3 races, I sit in first place in the league, in the local Boston League. That's pretty cool. I would love to continue that all the way through the end, but we'll see if I can make all the races and continue to do well. But this is a great way to just, it's a great, affordable, lightweight way to kind of practice the things that are more applicable to a racetrack. And although you're not racing at high speeds here, it is still helping me get comfortable of setting up a pass, defending, changing my line depending on where I am in the race, all kinds of things that would happen at a greater scale on the racetrack, it's great to be able to practice those things here at my local indoor karting track. So I will definitely be continuing this as much as possible. And on the business side, well, of course I plan to continue growing my presence on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you to those of you who've supported my channel thus far. In fact, if you're watching this, you're supporting me, so thank you. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, it would mean a lot to me if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. That lets me know I'm doing something right. But yeah, as far as my business, I plan to continue documenting my whole journey, what I learn, events I attend, mistakes I make, races I win, and anything related to this crazy journey I'm on. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you have any ideas, suggestions, any kind of input on how I can accelerate my racing journey, ways that I can get more involved in racing, I would love to hear that. I want to be able to really fulfill my dream and show you guys how I'm doing it, but I know I can't do it alone. I need everybody's help. I need to have mentors, and I need to be humble because I am starting from the beginning here, and plenty of people have done what I'm trying to do. So if you have any kind of advice, if you know anybody, if you can kind of get me set up for success, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm doing everything I can with the tools at my disposal, but of course I know I can't do it alone. That's it guys. I will see you on the next one.